In 2010, serious social problems arose in the poorest suburbs of Paris, including violence, drug use, and criminal activities, mainly in an area known as B13, a ghetto with around 2 million inhabitants. Faced with the inability to control the situation in B13, the authorities decided to build a tall wall with barbed wire around the area, isolating the residents and depriving them of education, proper public services, and police protection. Hey, if you're an action movie fan and you've never watched B13, I don't know what era you were born in, but you're missing out. B13 was released in 2004, and it puts many current movies to shame, including the Fast and Furious franchise. If you haven't watched B13, leave a like, and if you have, drop a comment. A police checkpoint was established to monitor the entry and exit of people. No one enters and no one leaves without authorization. After 3 years, a nearly feudal structure emerged among the street gangs of B13. The region is now infested with hard drugs like heroin and completely dominated by gangsters. Certain blocks are controlled by different individuals, and a luxury apartment building is protected by an athletic and streetwise man named Leito, the famous parkour guy. Leito hates drugs and injustice, and he fights alone against a neighboring gang leader named Taha Bemahmoud to keep his building and his community safe and drug-free. Leito seizes 20 kilograms of cocaine from Taha, valued at over €1 million, which leads Taha to send his men to retrieve the goods, led by the intimidating K2. Leito destroys the cocaine using bleach, and when Taha's men arrive, he uses parkour to escape, jumping across buildings and rooftops. After the gangsters fail to catch him due to his parkour skills, Taha orders K2 to kidnap Leito's younger sister Lola to use her as leverage. K2 goes to the supermarket where Lola works, kidnaps the young woman, and takes her to Taha's base. There, you see how the base is heavily armed, filled with sports cars, and many men armed to the teeth. But this wasn't a big deal for Leito, as he manages to infiltrate Taha's base, rescue his sister, and capture Taha in retaliation. While they're leaving Taha's base, Lola takes off her underwear and forces one of Taha's men to swallow it because he disrespected her when K2 was bringing her to the base. Leito takes Taha to the police station at the edge of the district's perimeter, but the police are in the process of abandoning their position under orders from the French ministry and are also outnumbered by Taha's gang. The police release Taha and allow him to take Lola with him to avoid a confrontation. Additionally, they put Leito in a cell as well to contain the situation, but Leito ends up killing the police chief in the process for handing over Lola. 6 months later, far from B13 in the wealthier areas of Paris, an undercover police captain named Damien Tommaso infiltrates an illegal casino and attempts to arrest the gangster who controls it. However, his extraction attempt fails. He manages to get the casino boss out, but Damien couldn't escape in time, forcing him to fight off a crowd of thugs to get out of the casino. Damien left everyone in the dust using parkour. After completing the mission, Damien immediately receives a new task from his superior and the French Secretary of Defense, Mr. Kruger. He is informed that Taha has stolen an experimental neutron bomb that is set to explode in 24 hours. His mission is to convince Leito, who has been imprisoned for months, to accompany him to Taha's base so they can disarm the bomb. Damien tries to pose as a fellow cellmate and helps by explaining that he plans to escape to B13. To convince Leito, he tells him that his sister has become Taha's little pet, and the worst part is that he wasn't joking. Taha had completely mistreated the poor girl. Damien helps Leito escape to B13. But Leito, not being naive, realizes Damien's ruse, locks him in a van and abandons him. Damien, in a tough spot, has no choice but to face some gangsters in the area. After fighting off a few thugs using parkour, Damien catches up with Leito and tells him the truth, explaining the whole situation. They join forces to disarm the bomb and rescue Lola. The duo surrenders to Taha to gain access to his base. There, they discover that Taha has connected the warhead to a missile launcher aimed at the center of Paris and is ready to blackmail the government with it. Taha demands a high ransom of 20 million, which is denied by Damien's government contact. With no options left, as they thought the government would deliver the money but didn't, the duo escapes. while Taha's henchmen chase them. Taha's accountant discovers that the government had emptied all his offshore accounts when Taha provided his Bahamian account for the deposit. One of Taha's men asks how he is going to pay them. Frustrated, Taha tries to shoot the man who asked the question, but realizes his gun is empty, as he had unloaded everything on the guy who let Damien and Leito escape. Taha offers money from a vault he has. However, the henchmen, knowing that Taha's accounts have been emptied and with no reason to keep working for him, decide to shoot Taha. This puts K2, a more friendly character, in charge, and K2 has a moment of reconciliation with Leito, suggesting that peace may be possible in the future in B13. He lets Leito and Damien go up to the building to disarm the bomb. Once there, they discover that Taha had a final card to play. Before dying, he released a man known as the Beast, who had been kept locked up to guard the warhead and prevent anyone from getting close. After Damien takes a brutal beating, unable to even tickle the Beast, Leito comes up with an idea. He wraps the Beast in a rope, immobilizing him, and then Damien finishes him off. The two reach where Lola and the bomb are. Once there, Damien contacts his superior to get the deactivation code, which is 9293709B13. Leito recognizes the code as a reference to the location of the bomb. 9293 is the area code of the district, the current date, September 7th, and the district, B13. Leito deduces that the government set them up, and that the code will actually detonate the bomb instead of disarming it. He fights Damien to stop him from entering the code. After nearly killing each other, Damien is unable to enter the full code. The timer reaches 0, and the bomb doesn't explode, confirming Leito's theory. The duo returns to the government building with the bomb and forces Mr. Kruger to admit that he planned to blow up B13 as a way to rid the city of it. The confession is recorded and immediately broadcast on television. Their actions cause a major scandal, generating public support for B13. Soon, the rest of the government promises to tear down the containment wall and bring back schools and police to B13. Leito and Damien part as friends, and Lola kisses Damien to encourage him to visit B13 in the future. And that's how the movie ends. Hey, subscribe to the channel so you can be the first to know when I release new summaries here, and leave a comment about which movie you want me to summarize next. See you soon, I'm out.